Hello and welcome to the Bravo Outsider Podcast, a very special live RHONY Reboot edition. Joining me, making his triumphant return, is my co-host Dylan Ferguson. Dylan, how's it going?
Happy to be back. Happy to be back in the saddle, riding the RHONY. Thanks for organizing this. I wanted to do a live stream since we started, and you sprung the whole suit theme on me. I didn't know it was formal wear for the RHONY reboot. I had to change really quickly. I was watching Wimbledon today, so I took my sartorial inspiration from them. Ready to go. Ready to get.
You got to take a hint from the Countess. You know, it's proper etiquette.
Yeah. R.I.P. the Countess.
Each week we bring on an outsider who does not follow the show. This week, joining us is two very good friends of mine, Alasdair Dunlop and Michelle Anderson.
Hey. What is this?
Let's get some taglines read.
Oh, right. Oh, no, I didn't think of a tagline.
All the things I want to tell you. We've been through it all, but we rise, not fall. Was that one?
Oh my god. My heart grew 2 sizes.
Excellent.
What bard, what poet of our times would come up with such a beautiful turn of phrase?
Casgod.
Casgod, yeah, on Instagram.
Yeah.
Maybe he's watching. Take him. Don't take him. I'm going to say some mean things.
So we usually start out just by getting your experience with reality TV. What sort of reality shows do you watch?
The closest thing I watch to a reality show is Jeopardy.
Oh, okay.
But I skipped the part where they tell their sad stories.
I'll allow it. My favorite part of that bit of Jeopardy is that whenever Alex is like obviously super unimpressed with your story, his response is always good for you.
He's also keen to tell young women that they're doing very well.
Yeah.
Bright young women, yeah.
Yeah.
And Michelle, how about yourself?
Yeah, Jeopardy. I don't know. I don't watch.
Good for you.
I think I watched the first season of the first Survivor in 2000, whenever it came out too.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's formative. That's an epochal event.
Excellent. Well, so
That's
you guys are clean slates. Do you want to just tell us what you're expecting from this? Like, what are your impressions since we're live before this show has aired? You're a complete blank slate.
I'm expecting there to be fights and people to be mean to each other, and yeah, I don't know.
And that's just the podcast.
Yeah. I don't know why I keep hanging out with you guys.
That should have been your tagline.
I don't know I don't know what the taglines are supposed to be, so.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So do half of the people who say them. So.
But yeah, speaking of taglines, since we've got the new season of Real Housewives of New York premiering, I wanted to go through the taglines. We can do a bit of a power ranking and rating as we usually do. I'm assuming that Alasdair and Michelle, you have not heard these. You haven't been spoiled on social media. How about you, Dylan? Have you seen these?
I've not heard them yet. No, I'm going in a virgin.
I don't even know what this is about.
Do you mean to suggest they haven't made it into the zeitgeist of our modern culture? I'm not surrounded with them every day without knowing it.
Well, that will happen in about an hour.
Yeah.
Then comes your baptism. Okay, so we're gonna start with Aaron. I'm a true New Yorker. The only bull I'll take is by the horns. Dylan, what do you think?
I love mixing a metaphor, so it gets points for that. The sentiment behind it is a little weak and obvious, though. I give that B-.
Yeah, I was trying to think if this is something to do with the bull on Wall Street. I'm not sure what Aaron's background is, but yeah, I don't know. I'd agree B-. Michelle, what do you think of this one?
I don't know who Aaron is, but it's a woman.
Yeah, we don't either.
Wait, just
Yeah, that's the great part. We're all kind of outsiders going into this because this is a total reboot. All new people.
Okay, yeah, I immediately
Like I kind of know
thought
who
the
Jenny
Wall
Lyons
Street-
is, but that's about
I
it.
thought of the Wall Street thing too. And wait, what's this out of 1 to 10?
Any sort of arbitrary like rating you want to
I
give it.
Okay, I give
Like,
it
2 thumbs
4
up.
out of 4 out of 6 stars.
Yeah. Okay. Alistair?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm always uncomfortable with people using the word bull in place of a real curse word, so I'm gonna give it a C. C plus.
You got a critic over
Okay.
here.
Up next, Jenna Lyons' tagline is, "My lashes may be fake, but I definitely keep it real."
So I know that she has a lashes company. That's one thing I do know. So I get that it's referencing something about her, but it's really bad. I think just saying like it may be fake, but I'm real. Like that's like entry level. That's D. for
Yeah,
me.
I don't know. I actually kind of like this one. I was going to put it, at about a B as well, but I get your take.
I just think it's the most basic tagline sentiment.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something I could have written very easily and been like, yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't even write one for this, so.
Well, it would have been like that.
The claws are out.
I mean, technically mine was borrowed.
Repurposed.
Yeah, so Michelle, what was your rating on that one?
Yeah, same as Dylan. It was bad. Yeah.
Alistair?
Yeah, I'm disappointed in the lack of confidence it portrays.
Yeah.
Like, I think the show is famous for having people with cosmetic surgery, etc. Then, like being sensitive about your lashes belies a lack of confidence.
Yeah, okay. So, like, I'm an outlier in scoring this, but the more I think about it, like, you could have a lot of fun with lashes if you wanted to do a play on words with, like, getting your lashes.
Yeah, like if she got together with the other one.
Yeah,
something
I
to
got
do
my
with the
lashes
lashes.
in, something like that.
Okay, I'm downgrading. I'm still gonna put it at a C, but yeah, I downgrading from a B there. Bryn's tagline is, "I love to laugh, but make me mad, and I'll date your dad."
Yeah, that's a solid.
I
A+.
assume there's probably some. Yeah, I assume there's probably some like maybe something in her history about that, or maybe not. I hope not. Actually, I hope it's just a random statement. It's always a cool flex to be like, "I'm gonna fuck your parent." I think that's a cool flex, and it rhymes. So yeah, I mean it's A for me. I'll hold off on the plus, but it is solid A.
Yeah, I'm all in. A plus.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an A plus for me as well. And I think that she's the housewife that I'm most looking forward to. I think she's got a lot of potentials in like the
Who's
little
this?
clips that we've seen.
Bryn?
This is Bryn, yeah.
Okay. So you don't know any of the characters either, really?
No,
Okay.
yeah.
You've been going over footage of them in the minor leagues, though. I think.
Jessel's is, "I always bring the flavor. It's not my fault you don't have any taste."
Also, I find it kind of basic, like a pretty obvious metaphor there. I'll give it a C plus, but that's as far as I'm gonna go.
Okay.
To me, it says the same thing as the lashes one.
I just
Without
have
the
so many
fact that-
questions. What is the
Yeah.
flavor?
I mean,
Yeah.
most of them, a lot of them express that same sentiment. It's just like how funnily do you express it for
Yeah.
me that counts, or how absurdly you express it. That's I grade very high for like surreal weirdness, and this doesn't
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this at a C as well. I think it's like pretty entry level. It's what I would assume someone on the show would have. We've got Cy. In New York, there's a lot of bad apples, but I'm the baddest of the bunch.
Well, that's a problem because apples don't come in bunches.
They don't. Oh, they come in bushels.
That's true. Yeah. If you said he was the baddest of the bushel, I'd give this an A.
Yeah, okay, apples, big apples, sure, okay, there's that, but it's not reaching very far, is it? It's not reaching very far. And like the if it's referencing a common statement, it's referencing like the bad apple, which ruins the batch or the bunch or whatever it is. That's what that saying is saying, that you ruin everything for everybody. It's the confidence isn't working for me, and and neither is the metaphor. I'll give it C, down the middle C.
Yeah, I was going to go with a C as well, but if it is not actually a bunch, like if a group of apples is not a bunch, I'm going to upgrade it because, I like the confidence of a producer probably was like, hey, that's wrong, and still to run with it.
Yeah, that does give it some extra
yeah.
juice, yeah.
Extra apple. And finally, we've got Uba, the secret ingredient. Darling, it's me.
I kind of like how it sounds like a drag queen from the 70s. Like it's very just straight up, just flamboyant. There's no real metaphor. There's no real
no
pun.
Connection to anything.
It's yeah. But I like that kind of like just like direct flamboyance. There's a sincerity to it that I appreciate. I'll give it a B+.
Yeah, you just kind of have to believe it, right? Like he just says it, and then you're like, okay, I guess so.
It's like Peter Pan. You just gotta believe it.
Yeah.
You're saying there's going to be a food fight.
Yeah, I'm going to put this at a C as well. I like maybe it's going to be this is not going to really grow on me. I think that there's nothing to this one. So even if she gives it like the greatest read, I feel like it's middling on me. So the show is going to.
Are we concerned about the season after kind of having a lukewarm response to the tagline? No, that's too early. Too early to get.
Yeah. Okay. So
no, never mind. I said nothing.
Let's get into your expectations for the season. What are you looking for, and from what you've seen of these Housewives and like promotional information, like what are you hoping for?
Well, you know me, I'm like a pretty straight text guy. I try to avoid as much of the behind the scenes stuff as I can, even as I appreciate it that it's so much a part of the ecosystem that they exist within. Now, I really like to just to hold off for the actual episodes, I don't know anything about any of these people except a little bit about Jenna Lyons, right? Which I remember from like her being a very minor like Obama era celebrity. I think it's, from what little I've seen, I see that they're really playing up like the diversity of the cast, which is something the show's needed, except like when I read their bios and it's like a fashion influencer, another fashion influencer, another fashion influencer. You see that the diversity is just literally pigmentation. Yeah. It doesn't apply to anything else about them as far as I can see from what little I've read, but we'll see. I don't know anything about them, so what do I have it to base on? I'm trying to keep an open mind. These taglines were my first introduction to this world.
Yeah, I would say I'm pretty stoked about this. Just like I get so worked up and hyped on anything new. Like when we got a new show and a brand new cast, like I'm really excited to see who the true champions that are going to emerge from this. Like we could be witnessing tonight the birth of an all-time great, and I'm totally here for it.
Yeah, this could be Alcaraz beating Djokovic all over again.
I
still in Wimbledon.
I feel like some of the taglines are lackluster. I really enjoyed Brynn, and like everything that I've seen from her is like really energetic. I started following all of these new Housewives on Instagram like the moment they were announced at BravoCon. So I've seen like bits and pieces.
That's why you're the host.
Bits and pieces of their like social media, what they're putting out there. It's mostly drama free, but just kind of like hearing some of the other accounts of the cast, I'm really excited about Brynn because she seems like a wild card, and like her social media presence is actually like seems like pretty funny and energetic, and I feel like those are two key characteristics of the past incarnation of Real Housewives of New York, and I think that she seems like she really embodies that. Also, I feel like Jenna Lyons, she is a known name, and she has a very distinct style from everyone else. I love that in the promotional material she's like carrying her little yippy dog, and she really like stands out. And also just having like browsed Reddit and also like looked at comments on some of these posts about these people, people have had like not so nice run-ins with her, so that gives me hope that she might be a vile, devilish villain that we need, and could give us
gotta have one.
Yeah, absolutely. Usually you need multiple of them to keep it going. So I'm really hopeful that she's gonna kind of bring some conflict to the table. The other ones, like you said, Dylan, I think it's been a very kind of it seems very generic and cookie cutter in terms of like they've gone to Central Housewife casting and picked a few names out of the hat. I mean, actually Jessel seems like she might be a lot of fun as well, and yeah, but aside from that, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't really know what to expect here.
Yeah, I'm also kind of interested culturally in like the way that I think we're gonna get a new version of what the baseline expectations for what like an aspirational wealthy New Yorker is, because the old school cast still had that like lingering trace of that almost like Edith Wharton, Henry James kind of world where embodied mostly by Countess Luann de Lesseps, who would be like getting angry at Bethany because she told her chauffeur that her name was Luann instead of Countess de Lesseps. And like there's a lot about like going to the opera and like who are you going to see at the opera, like those kind of like really old world European inherited traits of like what you expect a wealthy influential person to be. We're still like hanging around in the OG cast of RHONY, and to see what the cultural reset is going to be with this new version of the cast, as like a bunch of influencers mostly. It seems like I'm really interested to see where they take that idea culturally.
Yeah. Are they all from New York? Is that the premise of this?
Yeah, well, they all
That's in the
reside.
name,
Yeah, they all reside and like operate socially within.
So
New York.
that makes the like Apple one even more egregious. I can't believe you guys scored it so high. That was just like the extra one that the producers made. So that like whoever didn't come up with one, they got that one.
Did you not know that ROHNY, like the NY was New York?
I figured it out just now.
Sherlock over here.
But speaking of New York, like there's a trope or a saying that anytime that New York is featured in like film or TV, that it's a character. Like New York is a character on this show. I think like Real Housewives of New York is no exception to that, and that's something that we discussed a little bit a week and a half ago with Billy Chung when we were discussing places. It will be interesting to see how the character of New York City is reimagined here.
Yeah, especially post-COVID.
Yeah, post-COVID, for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's a whole new world.
And what do we think? Do we think Harry Dubin is going to make an appearance in New York? Will he return with this new crop of women?
Why? Are there rumors?
Well, he just has found his way back into like Housewives of New York so many times. I would not be surprised to see him on a plane, especially after hearing Bryn's tagline with the dating your dad thing.
with yeah, well, yeah, maybe there'll be a jump scare in the post credits scene.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why did you make us listen to Coffee and Love?
We're gonna talk about that. We don't have time to talk about that, but
it's like,
we
better talk about it because I don't want to waste my time here.
yeah, as Michelle said, we're going to be talking about a song again. We did this a couple of weeks ago with Rusty Robot when he was on the show. We're talking about Coffee and Love by Ashley Darby again. So we're going to be back live after watching the RHONY reboot. We're going to do our recaps. We're going to talk about Coffee and Love, talk about music, talk about New York, and that'll be a day. The show is about to start in a couple minutes. So do you guys have any final thoughts before we get into it?
Just stoked. Just ready to go. Amped up.
All right. Same here. Okay. Well, thank you guys. We're going to get ready to watch the show. Hope everyone enjoys it, and we'll see you here afterwards. We're back. Okay. That was a very exciting episode of Real Housewives of New York, the reboot. Before we went live, Michelle was just asking, has a Real Housewives franchise ever done a reboot in the same way that New York has? So the answer is no. Oh, sorry, just a second. Getting some notes about our Instagram here.
Oh. What kind of notes? Are people grading us?
No.
Am I passing?
Yeah, we weren't formatted correctly, and they're asking for a bit of fan service. So if you could unbutton and show a bit of chest there, that'd be great.
I knew this was coming, Craig. It's always the same.
No, we're gonna get banned. Okay.
Okay, that was too much.
Before we get into the this episode of Real Housewives of New York reboot that we got, we were planning on talking about a song, since both Michelle and Alasdair are very talented musicians. We exposed them to some other very talented musicians and had them choose between a few songs by some Bravo.
Sorry, I'm just using some cheese.
Come on.
Okay, how did you have that?
What? I
you
love
had that
cheese,
with
guys. You
in
gotta
the fridge at all
represent.
times?
This represents a small sample. I'm
No, if you can,
Three
if you can just
cheeses
stretch
here.
this out for another
I've
hour,
shook
we've
shit
got
my
ourselves a
fridge.
podcast.
Yeah. We're doing a mukbang right
Yeah.
now. That's what's happening.
Since we've got two extraordinarily talented musicians on the show, we want to expose them to a variety of Bravo Labs and their talented songs. And we decided that we wanted to talk about "Coffee and Love" by Ashley Darby. Dylan, you were really advocating for this one in the chat when we were
That's pushing for it.
going to talk about it. What was motivating you to choose to rally behind this flag?
Because it rules. Whenever I hear the critics, all those judgment Judys and bitter Bettys out there, it just solidifies my love for the song all that much more. I think probably my favorite thing about Coffee and Love is the repeated use of the line, "Here's to the love, those were Juliet's last words." I really love that.
Yeah. See, I have a...
Because...
go on.
Yeah, no, it's just funny because that's obviously not that. That wasn't her last words. So, her last words were about fucking killing herself. So it's just really funny to just rewrite Shakespeare with something really bland.
Okay. So I thought it was Julian's last words, and it was like a character in one of the shows.
No, he's.
Oh, that changes everything.
It changes everything.
See, I thought this song harbored a dark
Who did you think he was
secret,
talking about?
and I want to know
the
who
lead
Julian
singer of
was
the
and who Julian was and why he was murdered. That throws all my theories in the water. I got nothing.
Who did Julian in? Just to be clear, "Oh happy dagger, this is thy sheath. There rest and let me die." That's it. It's I'm dead. I'm dying. I'm killing myself, which is really different from just being like, "I love love."
Do it for the love. Those
Hashtag
were
couple
Julian's
goals.
last words.
That's what makes you mad about this song?
I think you're still wrong. I think they're talking about
No, it doesn't
Julian.
make me mad. It delights me. It delights me because I think it's really bold to just intentionally blandly misquote one of the most famous works of literature, because everybody knows that that's not true. So it's really cool and ballsy to do that. That'd be like if you're singing a song and you're like, "Oh, can't wait to get on the boat. Those were Ishmael's first words." Like, no, we know that's not what they were. But it's so cool that you thought you could pull that over us. Like, so yeah, big ups to Casanova. He's doing
wonders.
Yeah, but
yeah.
What else could you rhyme with? If my heart was a computer, baby, you'd be the password, which is like an all-time line. You need something to lead into that.
So you're suggesting that the only rhyme for password, the word is the only rhyme for password.
Yeah. And if you need to rewrite Shakespeare to do it, then you gotta.
The immortal bird. Casanova. Oh, that's actually really upsetting to me. I thought that this was all about a guy named Julian. I assumed that there was a story there. I thought maybe he was...
I mean, there is a story there. It's kind of a thing.
This whole... Yeah, man. Changes it all. I'm disappointed. Sometimes it's better to have the mystery, I guess.
So, Alasdair, you were actually the tie-breaking vote on ultimately selecting this song. What was your criteria for that?
Strictly...
The death threats.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I see this on the surface as a love song, a simple love song, but deep down it's a murder ballad. And, like, I mean, now that I know it's about somebody else, it's about Juliet, it changes everything. But in the time, I thought it was about Julian, and like maybe like these two people had murdered him. I feel like it's like there's enough lines in there to really pull that out. Like, for one, after talking about Julian's last words, like they reiterate over and over again, like happy to be partners in crime.
A judge makes an entrance.
Yeah, there's Judge makes an entrance. That's true.
Judge Judy.
Yeah.
See, that's the other. So there's also this strange like identity crisis where like who is Casanova in all this? Because like she refers to him a few times as like she describes him having blue eyes. He clearly doesn't.
Well, wait for the Shyamalan twist there, Alasdair.
She also refers to somebody named Mickey a little bit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Mickey and Ashley will never stop. I mean, that's scary.
I guess there's actually two twists we could throw.
Yeah, there's no heaven to discover for them. It's all, to me, I think they're maybe one and the same person. Like Casanova and Ashley. Two sides of the same coin, and like Casanova's the murderous intent there, and Ashley is
the Joker.
Yeah, exactly. And they live within the same existence. So yeah,
you're getting close.
Yeah.
You're getting warmer.
I would like to welcome all of the followers of CasGod now, because his password was really easy to figure out for Instagram, and we're going live on his account now too. So.
Tell me you're joking, because you could be serious.
No, I'm totally joking. Totally joking.
I mean, he's got like a few hundred followers on Instagram. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, no, so, okay. So, Casanova is actually Ashley Darby's brother.
Which... Oh, that's
which
way weird.
Okay, so how do you feel about all those forbidden love kind of verses that are in there?
Well, now that they're projected at her sibling, yeah.
I really wish that it was Michael Darby or Mickey Darby that was doing the rap verses, because I think that would make for an especially funny music video. Sadly, that is not the case.
Which isn't to say that Mickey Darby doesn't show up in the video.
Yeah,
he does turn up near the end. He's the guy you see at the bar who turns around and gets all excited and lit up, and his baby blues just shine. Presumably because he just noticed the cameraman's ass.
Yeah, I really love that. Like, Michael Darby is this is Ashley Darby's husband at this point, and he has been the constant like rumor of all of the speculation surrounding his sexuality. And so to include him in like a couple shots where he's at the bar chatting up a guy and like turns around to realize that his wife is doing this big long elaborate song for him is a really hilarious choice on the part of the director here.
And she's doing it with somebody else. her sibling.
Yeah.
Oy, oy, oy. One of my favorite parts of the video is that she mouths all the words that Casanova sings.
Yes.
That's like half the video. Like half the video is just her lip syncing to Casanova's
furthers my
lyrics.
point that they're one and the same person.
I think they just needed more B-roll. They should have got some footage of dogs running around. That's what they usually do on the shows. Something else at least.
Also, there was like a surprising lack of other cast members on this, and you know what? I feel like that just speaks to how great of a housewife she is. Like, she was able to just go in, do this flying solo, didn't need any support from her cast. Aside from Charisse. Charisse is on there, and that's like the only person that we see from the Potomac cast. Really love, respect, Ashley Darby's hustle here.
Yeah, usually it's an opportunity they take to cram as many castmates in the show into the video as they can to get more traction. But whether because she couldn't or she didn't want to, who cares? She's flying solo. Almost.
It's interesting to me, like,
though she does
songs, because you sent us a bunch of these things.
Yeah.
And so there are a bunch of them out there. And is this just something that they all do by default? Is this part of the show? Is this like...
So they don't all do them. There's like just the greats do them, honestly.
Just the good ones.
just the best to play the game, get a song. But no, they do like... It usually takes like a variety of different... It varies in terms of how serious they're taking it. Like, there's a big storyline on Real Housewives of Atlanta this season where Drew is pursuing a music career, and she's taking it very seriously, or somewhat seriously. I don't know. She's using it in the same way that like some people use a baby to fix a marriage. That's what she's doing with the music career on Atlanta right now. But we see like someone like Candace is really like trying hard to do it. Candace on Real Housewives of Potomac is like trying hard, and she's got some tracks that I think are probably like you can take them a bit more seriously. I don't know if they're necessarily better than Coffee and Love. I think it's hard to be better than Coffee and Love. One of the reasons I didn't want to talk about Coffee and Love is because I love the idea about thinking about talking about Coffee and Love, and to actually get my thoughts out there and put it out there, and not have that as one day I'm going to be able to talk about Coffee and Love on a podcast. I feel like it's taking something away from me.
Yeah, sometimes just gesturing towards your greatest musical influences has more power than actually digging into it. Like, thank God for the...
Yeah. Is there any explanation in the...
Need we say more?
Mythos for this?
Need we say more?
And, like, that's thrown in, so, like...
It's so, like, I don't know any of these characters. I don't know any of their backstories.
I don't think ZZ Top's a character.
Not yet.
But, like, it's just so jarring to hear that in a song that's not about ZZ Top at all, or, like, doesn't sound like it's inspired by ZZ Top.
Well, the lyric is, give me all your lovin', thank God for ZZ Top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mickey Darby and Ashley will never stop.
I mean...
It's a spoiler alert. They stop.
Oh, that's... so I want, like, I feel like I need to come clean and say that, like, there are no lyrics for this on the internet. I sat down and transcribed them.
That's why we thought it was Juliet.
You're doing God's work.
Juliet.
Yeah, so I got a lot of wrong words probably, but one of my favorites is in that same verse. There's a line that's catch your vibe, and then just some words that I couldn't figure out. I don't think anybody can. Followed by the words, hope it's understandable. that it's
That
only
hope was
me and
misplaced.
you. We ready to set it off. Anyway.
Yeah, I know. I noticed even like the automatic like YouTube subtitle generator was turned
Yeah.
off for that video. Like they do not want, the man does not want you to know the lyrics to Coffee and Love. They are hiding something.
There's definitely a dark truth.
The YouTube generators do
Yeah.
wacky things too, though. Right?
That's true. So does
So
Gaslight.
I did a little bit of research.
I literally cannot believe that
Yeah.
he says Juliet in that song. I'm gonna listen to it again because I don't believe it.
What's an origami smile? What is that? What does that mean? It sounds
I thought I wrote
horrifying.
that wrong in the
Sounds-
word transcription.
What did you think?
Origami
like
smile.
Jigsaw, like from
Yeah, exactly. Or like something like a Takashi Miike movie. What does that look like? It sounds horrible.
No, it's like your aura's got me smiling, I think is the line.
Is that what he
There's
says?
also-
Yeah.
Oh shit! I had
Well,
nightmarish
it follows
imagery in
there's
my
no
head.
heaven to discover.
You want to know how I got this origami smile?
Do you think there's a heaven waiting for you? There isn't.
Damn. It's kind of dark. All right, that's it. That's enough of that.
Well,
Enough of
other than
Coffee
that,
and
yeah,
Love.
it's a pretty magical song. Its production is reminiscent of those guys who made that Rebecca Black song famous. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that I would say that's a common thread through like a lot
Yeah.
of Housewives songs as well. It's like
Just kind of trying to make it work.
kind of cheap, kind of like a little bit overproduced to compensate for a lack of like skill.
Over and under. Like there's no
Yeah.
there's no hook whatsoever in this song. There's no like it's just a thing that goes on forever. There's barely
there is that signature element.
It'd be hard to argue that there's even really a chorus in this song.
It would be hard to argue it is a song.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of words that get spoken. There is, I don't know, a lot of auto-tune, and not just auto-tune, there's a lot of added vibrato to the auto-tune just to be a little extra something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely feels like, well, I guess Casanova is the producer of this, is he not? I think that's my understanding.
I think so. I'm not entirely sure. I also really love that the beats have a like a watermark on them at the beginning of the song. Like when you listen to it, it's got like one of those watermarks is like so and so beats. Like it's downloaded
Oh,
off of
really?
like
didn't
like a
notice
stock
that.
library.
That makes sense.
That is amazing. I didn't catch that, but I mean, it absolutely makes sense. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I don't want to be the mean guy on the internet.
I don't want to be the only person who doesn't love Coffee and Love.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the Real Housewives of New York.
Enough.
Yeah,
Enough edging.
this I thought that this was a very like good first episode. But I want to let's start off with our outsiders. Alasdair, Michelle, what did you guys think?
Well, I mean, I'm watching it for the first time. Like, I've never seen any of these, and I'm watching it for the first time. And I know I have to come and do this afterwards, like, talk about it. So I'm just like...
You said that with such joy.
Yeah. So I was just frantically, like, writing down the names of people, and then their hairstyles would change, and they keep cutting to all the different people. And they would say, like, Jenna's house, and, like, whatever. Who was the first house, even? Was it...
Size House was the first.
Size House, yeah.
was the first one.
She had those villainous children.
Yeah, well, they have a weird relationship with their children and husbands, but yeah, I guess that's the show. Yeah, I don't know. My impression of it was just I was really frantically trying to figure out. Even halfway through the episode, I was like, "Who is this again? Like, who's mad about the cheese? Who's mad about the restaurant that was chosen? Who chose the restaurant that was not happy? What was the restaurant? They kept leaping it out."
Yeah, that's the real question. What was
Yeah.
at a restaurant? Jesus.
The money's on Red Lobster.
No, because they said that like the Olive Garden would be better because it was like
What goes hand in hand with an Olive Garden?
yeah.
That's true.
My favorite line about the restaurant was Bryn's line, which I think was her best line in the show, where she was like, I mean, maybe I'd go there if I had friends in town, like friends from Florida. Yeah, I'm sure some sleuths are on the internet are gonna figure out what the restaurant is. It's not gonna remain redacted for long,
sure,
I assume.
Yeah, if any.
One thing I didn't expect, like, I know the whole episode kind of led up to the fight in the living room or whatever, where everyone, like, the music got quiet and everything was like very uncomfortable, and I was like, oh, they're really fighting right now, and I guess that it just came out of nowhere for me, and that was unexpected, but.
I feel like they're telegraphing that fight from the very.
They were, but when it actually happened, I was a little bit like, oh, I don't like seeing real fights, and it was jarring, and I don't like it.
I did very much enjoy the cutaways to the shifty cook.
Yeah.
Yes, that was great.
It was a true hero.
This fucking chef who looks like a UFC fighter.
Well, they put like Popeye the dog next to him. I feel like intentionally.
Yeah.
It's I quite enjoyed how the real villains in the show all seem to be family members, like little children, or sometimes parents who didn't clean good.
Oh, okay, so the only dad. Okay, so who is the one that was like, "I'll make you laugh until you're mad, and then I'll sleep with your dad," or whatever her tagline.
That Bryn, yeah.
Bryn said that. Okay, so as soon as they introduced Aaron's dad, Eli, I was like, oh my god, look out, Eli! Bryn is gonna go after you.
No, because they teased that, right? They teased that in the intro bit. Yeah. They had her say something like that, like showing something that's presumably going to be in a future episode, where she says that around Aaron's dad, who looks like a goon in a Batman movie.
I didn't know who any of these people. I took like, my notes are so scrambled here, and I'm like crossing out who I think who was, and like so. I was very happy that I got like, oh, look out, Eli, but I guess, you're on it already.
That guy's terrifying, right? Is this just me?
Yeah, he's definitely a villain.
He is definitely a thug, played by the guy who played Ray Romano's brother.
Oh man, yeah, it's really hard to believe that any of the periphery characters are real people. Like, who's the other husband? Let me look at my notes here.
Pavit?
No, he seemed. He seemed like a made-up person for sure.
Are you thinking about Sai's horrific husband?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I got you, bro.
Wait, Sai's horrific.
That guy was just like, they needed a husband and they had a stagehand and they sent him on in.
I love that
baseball
guy.
cap
Yes, wearing a baseball hat in his own house, like, which is already just like psychopath behavior. And the fact that he shows up, she shows up shouting "Wifey" is also like horrific conduct. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, wasn't there like, I didn't know if you were home or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I missed something, but he was like, "Oh, can I come into the washroom or whatever?" And she was like, "Yeah, this is your house." And he was like, "Well, I didn't know." He was
like,
you're doing.
"I don't know what you're doing."
I don't know what.
See, I thought that was just reasonable, like respecting her space, but.
I was already lost on him by that point, so I
and he was also
the most
like
negative way possible.
Laughing at her jokes. I don't know. Maybe I missed something.
That's also like a direct line from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that we saw like 2 seasons ago in the conflict between like Crystal and Sutton. She's like, I don't know what you're doing in there, and it got blown out of proportion because of the implication about what she might be doing in there. So I liked seeing this little callback, but yeah, this
Okay, so
I mean, this guy.
It was a callback.
Well, agree or disagree, this guy sucks, Greg.
No, I agree. This guy sucks. Yeah.
Thank you. That's all I want from this show. All right, have a good night, everybody.
But yeah, I thought that this was like appreciated how all these characters were really introduced. I love that we got this like relay race for the introductions where, you know, one person would introduce the next and kind of hand the baton off, and they'd have to introduce the next. I thought that was a really fun way to do it. Who do you guys feel were the real like standouts from this cast?
I think Uba's a standout because she's a foot taller than everyone.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
You're just not going to lose her in a crowd.
No, Jenna's really tall too.
Jenna's really tall too, more slouchy though. She has a very distinct posture, which I love, by the way. I love her, like her
She slinks.
silhouette. Yeah, she slinks. Absolutely, that's the word for it. She's a slinker. Classic Jenna.
You guys think this is going to come to like a shorts versus talls kind of situation?
We can only hope, because that is not something that we have seen before.
Well, you haven't seen a full reboot before.
Yeah, it's true.
I thought Uba was great instantly. I think I gave her tagline like an A for being like very direct, like drag queen kind of confident statement. But hearing her actually say it with her like, you know, East African English Indianish accent was like A+ material as soon as it came out of her mouth. From that like stratosphere or kite where she delivered it. I thought she had great presence. Her apartment was awesome. Her wardrobe was insane and awesome for that reason. So I'm instantly an Uba fan, and I love her line deliveries. Uba eats. It's great stuff. She's doing great out there. But other than that, I think the one who comes out as like the most fully formed character is maybe unsurprisingly Jenna. It just like has a personality that seems like completely TV ready. Jenna just comes fully formed. Like I said, she's got that slinky presence. She's got the silhouette. She's got that rapid fire delivery. I love that like fast talking thing. That's what I'm going to a New York themed show to hear some fast talking. She's got like great delivery, a great look. I called her earlier like an Obama era mini celebrity. She's not beating those raps by like showing up in a trucker hat and literally talking about dressing Michelle Obama. Yeah. But that's like, you know, she's showing that she's been a public figure for a while, which these other girls are like, they're like rookies that are coming out of the OHL and entering the league at 18 years old, and she's like somebody who's been in the KHL for 8 years right now and is coming in as like a fully formed star. So I think she's like already ready to go. She's hitting the ground running, and she's got a leg up on everybody else.
Yeah, totally. I got the same thing from Jenna. I like was I don't know. I didn't know who she was prior to being introduced on here, and I still haven't done enough research to know what the context is for her like stardom. But
J. Crew, that's the context. She was the head of J. Crew for like years.
Okay.
When it was like a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and
she was on Girls too. She was on Girls for a little while.
Okay. Like the HBO show or whatever it was?
The HBO show. Yeah, Adelina Dunham. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just thought she seemed like this was not her first season of being a housewife. I actually also thought that Brynn came across like very seasoned. I thought that she immediately came in and like was the author of her own story, because she was you know, she had some lines about how like Sai has the life that she wants, like immediately like signaling towards her motivations, and you know, about her like ovaries flipping over, and just like I think she was really like telegraphing like her motivations and fears, and just like giving her like her character a lot of color. And you know, there's a couple ways that you can kind of read that sort of thing, and in some cases you can think of that as like if someone is not able to bring it within like a group social context, and like not able to bring the drama or conflict or whatever, they might like rest on some personal story that they can ride. But Brynn was both putting out this personal side and giving these motivations and like fleshing out her character, but also, you know, she definitely like brought it in terms of the social game of it all in the first episode, because, you know, she was at the heart of all the drama. Everyone was talking about her and calling her a shit stirrer, and, you know, all the conflict kind of revolved around her. And then she was able to like make up with Aaron and you know, kind of form an immediate like alliance that seemed almost unbreakable. Like they seemed to have this like friendship by the end of the episode that was so strong and seemed almost impenetrable, when that is not what you would have thought at the beginning of the episode, given all of the context. So I don't know, it felt like a really mature outing from her as well.
It's funny because that alliance happened in like the last 2 minutes of the episode. It's like, I'm gonna go back there and like beat her up and really like hate her, and then like, 2 minutes later they're best friends.
Well, and prior to that too, Erin had said that she was turned off to Bryn, which is like, you know, the harshest thing you can say to the one that is defined as the horny character. It's way meaner.
Yeah, I definitely like Bryn's like Bridget Bardot vibe that she's going for. I do think that her like attempts to define her personality were like very like cheesy and obvious at first, but you kind of got to do that, I think, in the first episode, right? You've got to go for broad strokes at first, and then let the shading happen later on.
Okay, but yeah, like more cheesy and obvious than anyone else on this. Like who brought more?
The only one who came off as polished, like I said, is Jenna. The rest came off. They all came off as cheesy and obvious. But I don't hold that against them, because it's the first episode. That's what they got to do. They've got to make mission statements. They've got to say this is who I am in two lame sentences. You know, that's what you got to do. It's part of it. Like the whole like cheese conflict too, I thought was like really forced and lame. But the first conflict that you're going to bring up in the first episode with a whole new cast is going to be forced, because you got to fake it till you make it. You've got to force it through before it happens. Wait, what?
Hello.
Let's see. I know it was Craig's. Anything can happen when you're live, right? It's New York, baby.
It's Craig's idea to go live.
Yeah. Well, I was strongly encouraging it. I wanted to live stream it. I wanted a whole episode where I was just eating cheese while the episode plays in the background.
Hey, that's bread.
Honestly, probably should have done that.
Could I just say that I hate a charcuterie board that has like a huge bunch of grapes on it, like you see that happening at Jenna's
like taking up that much real estate.
Yeah. And also, what do you eat? Are you even wanting to eat them? Maybe when they're dried out and they're jammy. That's the thing. There's a word for that. I'm forgetting it. But the fresh grapes, that's no good with cheese. It's not a bad idea.
Alasdair, Michelle, do you have any other highlights from this episode? Anything that stands out to you?
I really liked that it was a Halloween episode.
It was a secret
secret
Halloween.
episode.
I missed that.
That's my favorite part, because they kept showing the skeleton with the weird eyes in front of, I don't even remember whose house. The first house.
Yeah, spooky.
I think that was Aaron.
Aaron's? No, the first
Yeah,
house.
you just.
I had to name someone. I panicked.
Charlie's house. Anyways, there was a skeleton before, and I was like, okay, this has to mean something. Because I was just like, I need to write everything I see down, and I was all frantic. And then they kept showing the skeleton, and then when they went to other people's houses, they stopped showing it, and I was like, okay, they want to tell us something about the skeleton. And then they showed,
There's a skeleton working on
they
it.
showed a bunch of bushes with like those fake cobwebs on them, and I was like, oh no, this is just a Halloween episode. This is good. Yeah.
That's interesting that you bring that up, because like when I think about, you know, seasonal Real Housewives of like whatever, New York has had a lot of like Christmas episodes. I feel like when I think about, you know, Real Housewives of New York, I think about like the Berkshires trip with like these strong like Christmas episodes. I had mentioned on previous podcasts that the Berkshires episodes of like season 8 of Real Housewives of New York are some of my favorites, and I watch them as like a Christmas special every year. Like I just like, so to see them kind of pivot and us get now, you know, if Real Housewives of New York is going to start being like the Halloween episodes, I'm interested in that. I'm interested to see what happens. But I'm guessing since this is the beginning of the season, we might see this spread out over Christmas and still get Christmas in New York, which is something that I think myself and a lot of people enjoy seeing. Yeah. It is special.
It would be
Christmas special.
It'd be heartwarming.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. It's the spirit.
Dylan, what other highlights do you have?
Jessel's line, I knew every little thing about him, referring to her husband, following it up with, then I fixed it.
Yeah, I wrote that down too.
It's both funny and creepy. Kind of a frightening thing to say, but also funny.
Yeah, her general treatment of her family was amazing.
Yeah, it was entertaining. It was good. I did like Jenna's place, actually. I said I liked Uba's place already. I like Jenna's place too. This is going to be something that I'm looking forward to, honestly, in the RHONY reboot, is having like cool flats.
Yeah.
Because I do really enjoy the like weird liminal spaces you get in some of the shows like Orange County, where they have like these massive McMansions that are like completely sterile and like soulless and kind of terrifying. Like you just got lost in a part of the map in a video game and don't know how to get out. So having like these actually like you know, creative, weird, fucked up spaces with like more limited real estate like you have in New York, with like a younger cast, is something that I think is going to be pretty cool. And Jenna's place was pretty cool, and I do like that we get her shoe closet, which is given almost the same treatment that is given to like Hattori Hanzo's attic in the Kill Bill movies. That was really nice. And the way that they like wrap up the bit with her closet with her with, you know, the lace and the sequins getting intertwined. You don't mix lace and sequins. There was just good use of the spaces, good physical space usage.
Yeah, that was a note that I had. I really enjoyed the spaces that we got to see here. I feel like Jenna's was definitely a highlight. I also really liked Uba's as well. You know, really excited to see. Oh, and Sai's brownstone. Like, one thing that we have talked about a lot of times on this podcast is just like the geography of these shows, and so to see a little bit different geography of New York, I think is really interesting. I really like, you know, that we're getting to see. You know, brownstones in Brooklyn. I'm really looking forward to the new ground that we are going to cover. It's always fun to like, you know, see the fallout of a night at the Regency, but to get like new lore crafted out in New York is at least equally as exciting, probably more so for me.
New York, new lore. Yeah. That's what they say.
That's exactly what they always say.
Yeah, it is very exciting. I mean, I'm very thrilled. Yeah, I also found it like moving and inspirational, but that was just the Golf Town commercial.
Who are your standout housewives, Dylan? Who are you looking forward to seeing more from?
Oh, I think I already underlined both Uba and Jenna as being ones that are really exciting to me. So I'll stick with those two as the ones I've got the eye. And I think like Jenna is the least surprising pick in the gang. But like was really impressed with the kind of presence that she put out, and Uba has a ton of potential for me. For the other ones, I'm in wait and see mode for now. One episode's too early to start passing judgments on them, but they haven't really stood out for me just yet. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. How about you guys, Alistair, Michelle?
Big time Popeye fan. Hoping to see more Popeye.
Oh, the dog?
I'm sure we will.
I'm personally not planning on watching any more
You
of
got fed
these.
well,
So.
There's the Michelle seal ring-it endorsement.
Yeah, I think you got some of my picks there, Dylan. Uba was someone that I hadn't initially like picked as someone that I, was super stoked to see, but I thought every time that she was on screen, she brought it. It was exciting. So yeah, I'm excited to see her. Jenna, not a surprising pick. I, had kind of figured that she was going to be exciting to see. And also, like, I felt validated in, my pick of Bryn being really exciting to watch. I think that she was really fantastic. So,
she does seem eager to say weird shit, which is important. You need somebody who's eager to say weird shit. So I hope that she continues down that path and says ever weirder shit.
Yeah, but I think that there was more to it than that. Like, I agree that she had that, but I feel like she was also like eager to be messy or just like, just messy by nature. Like, I think.
She was hungry to cause problems, I think, and that's important too.
Yeah, and she was identified as by people as like being a troublemaker, and so that's good. And I want to contrast her with Erin, who I think also was given a similar treatment in terms of how she was presented, and she was kind of like featured as this person who has problems with people, and like maybe that's because she's a problem, but she just still read as boring to me. I was not like super buying it.
She also got the most screen time of anybody by far, I feel.
Erin?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And she didn't use it.
Yeah.
She didn't have a single line that I remember. So, I mean, we'll see. First episode, I'm not going to pass judgment too quickly, but you're right. She had lots of screen time, and I didn't see her using that screen time.
Yeah, I also, like, I don't know, I never expect anyone on these shows to express any sort of introverted tendencies, but, like, that's something that I identify with, and I liked Jenna being like, oh yeah, small talk is my kryptonite because something I'm just like not good at. I loved that. I just think that this was a very like mature effort from production in terms of how they presented this episode. I think they were very good about like carving out all of the characters in it, and I think that we got this fight about the cheese, which was like, it was nothing, but it was still engaging. It was like, as engaging as something can be for us to not like having no context on these shows. I appreciated how, they used this thread to kind of like tie this episode together, and we got like a little bit like of a hint of a more real conflict with regards to the restaurant, like that Erin picked in this, like,
that shall not be named.
Yeah, the the bleeped out restaurant.
Yeah.
I thought that it was like really well tied together, and that we got this friendship being put together at the end. I thought the gag of pretending that they were still fighting and coming out in Jenna's clothes was really like, it was funny, and also it was really like effective in terms of just like having something that is going to be a peeve to another housewife. Like that's obviously going to get under her skin. They had to have known that or have been like too messy to like to care. Yeah, so I thought altogether it was really good. It was not as not as floundering as some of the like premieres that you can see from a new series. Like I feel like Real Housewives of Salt Lake City took a little while to kind of get where it was. Real Housewives of Dallas, especially, like the first season, in my opinion, was a bit of a write-off before it found its legs. But this, like, it felt like it really hit the ground running to me.
There's lots to build off. There's lots of potential there. Yeah.
I think I've covered pretty much everything that I've got. Alistair, Michelle, do you guys have any final thoughts? How about you, Dylan?
I think I pretty much covered what I got so far.
Yeah. I remember most of their names.
That's the most important part.
Yeah. And you've set your PVR, Michelle?
Well, now that we have access to your Prime account.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this, and thank you to our viewers for like sticking with us through the technical problems. We'll see how this turns out in post-production because it says that we have stopped recording a few times. So hopefully we managed to like eke out an episode from this, but it has been a ton of fun. Alistair, do you want to let people know where they can find you?
My address, my home address?
Yeah, your physical location.
My physical location is westing of I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You can find me on Instagram, Prince Alasdair. Alasdair. I probably won't talk about this.
Michelle?
You can find me on Instagram at Michelle Ander Banjo, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Dylan, how about yourself?
I haven't put anything in there in a while, but you can find me on Substack as Dylan Ferguson. Hope to have something to announce in the next couple of weeks too, which is why I've been away from the show for a couple of weeks. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Looking forward to that.
In the meantime, you can find me eating cheese disgustingly.
Get your microscopes. That's been Bravo Outsider for this week. I'm Craig Midwinter. You can find us online at BravoOutsider.com. You can find us on Instagram at Bravo Outsider, on Threads at Bravo Outsider, on TikTok at Bravo Outsider, on YouTube at Bravo Outsider.
On TikTok?
Yeah, we are. On Twitter at Bravo_Outsider. Until next week, keep on wifing.
And as the Hamlet said, hey, I'm wifing here. It's New York, baby.
Those were his last words.